Money's important for a lot of reasons. It's a scorecard. How well did I do? How much did I make? How much did the company make? When I have a meeting, I don't waste time. It's quick, short, to the point, and we don't play games. We are going to have to get you down to 120, or I don't think this thing's going to work. Push your teammates to be better performers.
Just had a third one.
Let me see it. Let me see it.
Jack,
why do you like this better than what you had? Let me just see what you had. Just keep pushing them, pushing them. You don't want to drive them over the edge, but push them as far as you can.
All right, good. Let's you and I come into the office.
There's only so many hours in the day. The quicker you are, the more you can get done. But you have to be able to separate yourself. The fact is, you need to separate yourself from the pack. I mean, the pack is the pack for a reason. That's why they're in the pack.
Absolutely.
It's a terrible expression. And there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you know, they can be happier than you and I, perhaps, okay? But the fact is, you have to be able to separate yourself from the pack. You know, there's a story that my father told, and he thought it was a great, funny story. I didn't. And it was about a man who wanted to start a cola company. And he started it, and he called it 3-Up. And you know where this is going. Yeah. And then he failed. He went bankrupt. He went out of business. He said, I'm not giving up. And he called it 4-Up. And then he called it 5-Up. And then he failed again, and he called it 6-Up. And ultimately, he said, I quit. I give up. And you know what? If he wouldn't have quit, he would have had 7-Up. Sometimes you have fear of things, and there's nothing wrong with it, but try not to show it. When you keep getting rejected, when you keep hearing the no, you have to learn that there's a reason for no. What is it? Now, why are they saying no to me? Why is it that they keep saying no? You have to figure it out, because you know what? If they say no and no and no, and you keep saying no, maybe you're doing something wrong. You have to learn how to take that no and change it into a yes. So oftentimes, it's those no's that can make a life a lot better than those yeses. There are a lot of bad people out there. And you really have to go, if you have a problem with someone, you have to go after them. And it's not necessarily to teach that person a lesson. It's to teach all of the people that are watching a lesson, that you don't take crap. And if you take crap, you're just not going to do well. So be smart, be sharp. It's all about this. You have to have this to start off with. But you can't take a lot of nonsense from people. You have to go after them. I've always believed it. But being an entrepreneur is a special talent. Because I really have a theory that some people are not destined to make a lot of money, and that's fine, and they can be very happy. In fact, they can be much happier by not. Those people shouldn't be, because they'll ruin their lives. I mean, they'll go and they'll put up their house, and they'll mortgage their cars and everything else they own, and they'll go into business, and they shouldn't necessarily be in business. Not everybody is meant to be a business person. You have to be able to size up your opponent. I call them an opponent because when they're on the other side of the table, that's what they are. They're an opponent. If you can't do that, then it's called get a job. I don't know if you know any golfers in the room, but Gary Player was a very small guy as an individual, and yet he was a great golf champion. And it was the first time I've heard it. I'm sure it's been used by others, but it's the first time he said, the harder I work, the luckier I get. Now, you had somebody that was half the size of everyone else, and he won, I think, 9 majors and many, many golf tournaments, and he's beating these big, strong guys. He would work from early morning till late night, exercising and push-ups and hitting golf balls. And he said that expression, the harder I work. He won the U.S. Open, and they interviewed him. And he won by 1 stroke. He had an unbelievable shot at the end, and he said, the harder I work, the luckier I get. I've never forgotten that. That was many years ago. And it's true. The harder you work. I could give you so many anecdotes. I could give you so much on that. So many times where I worked hard, worked really hard, I ended up so-called getting lucky. Now, there is a thing called luck. Some people, for whatever reason, are luckier than others. The harder I work, the luckier I get. I hear so many times, oh, I want my people to be smarter than I am. It's a lot of crap. You want to be smarter than your people if possible. You just never, ever quit. There are a lot of ways to make money today, far more than you could have made, in my opinion, 2 years ago.